Hello you lovely people and welcome. Today I will be previewing what Inibuilds has dubbed the first in its premier line, the T-33 jet trainer or shooting star. Now, as you can see I've got it in the hangar here. So we'll go to the liveries and quickly have a little rundown. So we've just got a plain white with no markings. We have Ace Maker, Ace Maker 2 and Ace Maker 3. I think there's just subtle differences to the three liveries there. Obviously the Thunderbirds, Canadian jet painted up as a shark. We have a Luftwaffe, looks like an anniversary scheme, a Mexico 45th anniversary scheme, just a Mexico scheme of its own, and then we have a Hellenic Air Force T-33. For this I am going to use the Thunderbirds. So let's jump in the cockpit. Right, so we are at a very sunny Duxford today. The weather is absolutely fantastic for flying in the real weather, so I'm taking advantage of that. As you can see, the aircraft is all tucked up nicely, ready for bed. And we have our RBF tags, our engine blanks, rain cover and chocks. So this doesn't look like it's going anywhere too soon, but we'll just have a quick look around while it's in this configuration. And yeah, we'll jump in the cockpit and get things opened up. So you can see this is all accessed via a little mobile phone / tablet that you can bring up, or an EFB if you like. So let's jump in the cockpit. Okay, you can see we have our rain cover on still, so let's get rid of that. This little nut here gives you your little EFB, so you can remove all ground equipment, or you can just go through and add and take off what you want. So rain cover off, engine covers off, chock sleeve on, no ladder yet, pins off. Okay, we'll leave it there for now. So what I'm going to do, just going to put on the battery generator, unlock that and push this button. Get the canopy up, lovely stuff. Okay, let's get some systems down. Just going to turn off the red lighting, don't need that. Okay, we'll turn off the generator and the battery for the moment. Okay, and what I'm going to do is just jump outside, and we're going to have a little bit of a walk around the aircraft and then jump in and have a good look around the cockpit. Whoops, my bad, forgot to put the ladder on, so we'll just jump back into the cockpit. Okay, so I'm going to bring up the EFB ladder there, so the ladder is now on. Okay, so we can now go for our walk around. So we'll start at the nose, obviously. Yeah, looks pretty decent. The modelling itself is very nice, and the paint texturing is fantastic. I can actually, looking at that paint, I can actually feel, I know what that feels like just by looking at that. Yeah, that's very nicely done. Let's look at the nose wheel. So nice and grubby, as you would expect from a gear oleo and wheel. Let's have a look in the actual bay itself. These old aircraft weren't as busy inside as you would think. Very sort of tidy inside, and not a lot going on. Mainly hydraulic brake lines, things like that, which you could probably see. There's this stuff going in here. So yeah, that looks nice and corroded. when I used to make parts for aircraft, the aluminium, if it was left outside for too long, would start corroding, and it looks very similar to that. I think that's just how the texturing was done. Obviously the real thing wouldn't be corroded, otherwise it wouldn't be airworthy. Okay, so let's walk round and get back up again. So look down the intake pipe, and you just see the air scoop going in to the front of the engine there. There's our ladder and our guys. Maverick in the back and a British pilot in the front. Okay, I've got some writing all over the place. There are some bugs here and there, mainly with the stenciling on the Mexican aircraft. They've got their names down the sills of the canopy. When the canopy is raised, they just float, but hopefully that will be sorted before release. Okay, love the paint scheme. Obviously Thunderbirds used one T-33 as a narrator's slash VIP aircraft back in the day when they were using the F-84. Yeah, so they needed an extra seat for anybody who wanted to, or anybody important that wanted to come along. And looking inside the dive brakes there's the actuator, nicely modelled in there, as is the main gear bay here. Again, not much going on, mainly brake lines and hydraulic and things like that. The oleo itself, again, is fantastic. The tyres look really good, and so do the wheels. The gear doors are pretty cool as well. I love the little streaks of hydraulic bleed that you see here and there. It's a nice little touch. And we've got a nav light there. Look in the flaps. You can see the actuators. I'm not sure if they are just hydraulic rams or if they're screws. Depending on who manufactured the aircraft, I think they may possibly screws. Coming to the rear of the aircraft, we've got a anti-collision there. Lovely big star and bar, beware of jet blast. So look down the exhaust. Okay, yeah, it's nicely detailed on the inside. Not bad done at all. Okay, I'm not sure if that's a fuel vent. I'm not too clued up on the T-33. But speaking of the T-33, some specs. So max speed is 505 knots, cruise speed 380 knots, max altitude of 35,000 feet, empty weight of 8,450 pounds, max weight 16,800 pounds, fuel capacity only 807 gallons, the length is 37.5 feet, and the wingspan is 37.6 feet, so only 10 centimeters between wingspan and total length of the aircraft, which is pretty good going. I'll come back around to the nose again. And pitot at the front there. So I think we're done for the walk around, so we'll jump back in and we'll have a look around the cockpit. Alright, so as you can see, it's absolutely fantastically beautifully modelled inside. Texturing is really nice as well, looks worn, really old, but there are a few surprises on the aircraft that I'll get round to as and when it happens. So we'll go from the left hand side, working our way around to the right, as is usual fashion. So we do have switches and stuff under here. So these are all our audio switches, whether you want to hear the Morse codes of certain things, and all that. We've got our marker panel there, which isn't working. Our weapons panel here, which isn't clickable. Our fuel tanks, so we've got tips, our i.e. leading edge, wing and fuselage tanks. Here we have water injection for the engine to get that nice black smoky takeoff. We've got anti-icing here, cabin pressure dump, starting fuel switch, air start ignition, landing light and taxi light, flap lever there, and we've got throttle with our dive flaps switch on the top there, not clickable, has to be via the air brake switch. And we have cut out for the alerts. We have our autopilot trim disconnect for your pilot and trim. Here we've got main fuel shut off and our JATO firing, which we don't have JATO on this. It may come later, I don't know. A hot air entry. Our aileron booster is permanently on for JATO, and friction lock you can't do anything with. And the pull handle for the for jettison the JATO bottles is not clickable. Oxygen. Blinker doesn't work at the moment as far as I'm aware. Cabin pressure. Oxygen pressure. We might as well go through the cross bottom and then the top. So we've got gang start on flares. Not 100% sure if they're working, but there's a flare switch and you can add flare dispensers to it as well. We've got emergency fuel switch here. In the center we have our communications equipment. So we've got a nav radio down here. This is all part of the transponder. Transponder codes put in here, and then your comms. We've got parking brake. These are that's a vent fuel light, and we've got control shift command radio here, and well, that's JATO arm. It can be clicked but nothing happens. Here we've got our inverter switch and our warning light panels are there. Coming across the top then, so we have our gear panel indicator, our CDI, magnetic compass, gyro compass, artificial horizon, our indicated airspeed, RPM. Down here is our DME, speed in knots, altimeter, turn slip indicator, VSI, a vertical speed indicator, exhaust temperatures by 100 degrees C, and then we've got a fuel totalizer there. I'm not sure how to use that. Then we've got our elevator trim. When this is in neutral, that will light. Once it's out, it will go out, and it will also tell you whereabouts it is. We've got our flaps extension light there, warning light luminescence. We can have it dim or bright, aileron tabs and wing flaps. Our flap indicator, as you can see, they're fully down at the moment. Analog clock, electrical load, oil pressure, fuel pressure, fuel in, well, we've got half a tank almost, hydraulic pressure. Okay, so we've done for that side. We'll see our control column, canopy lock, nothing along the top edge here. So underneath we have radio panel lights rheostat, canopy open switch, and we've got a canopy close switch. We can have it park closed, sort of F4 Phantom-esque, where it will, or Sepcat Jaguar, where it be open a slit so let some of the air in if you've got hot cockpit before takeoff and after landing. And then we've got full close, hydraulic pump switch there, which isn't clickable. Okay, we've got a start switch under the cover, ignition, battery, generator, pitot heat, nav lights, dim or bright, steady or flashing, windshield defrost, small circuit breakers, a lot of circuit breakers that aren't clickable, and these are our night lighting. It's all in red. Then we've got VOR, ILS and TACAN modes. which if we switch that on, unfortunately you can't see which TACAN code you're inputting, so I'm not sure if that's going to be implemented at some stage. It'd be nice if it was, as TACAN is quite a major one that I use sometimes. Okay, and then we can yeah, pretty much well, there's airflow vent as well, which is just some little extra bits and pieces, and that's it for the front seat. We jump in the back. Apart from that massive hydraulic ram that's keeping the canopy up, it's pretty much as you were from the front. Gear indicators, CDI, airspeed, sorry, gyro compass, artificial horizon, RPM, exhaust gas temperatures, VVI, VSI, altitude, turn slip indicator, magnetic bearing, DME, flaps, clock, electrical load, oil pressure, fuel pressure, how much fuel you have, hydraulic pressure, and then we've got some similar switches as before. We've got the oxygen pressure there, blinker, although these bits don't seem to be clickable in the back. There's a lot of switches here that aren't clickable. And then you've got rear stats for internal lighting over this side, and that's our audio switch selector, some more circuit breakers, and then more warning lights there. Okay, so that's the back in classic configuration. So let's jump back in the front and we'll have a look at the modern configuration. So if we come up here to this left hand side nut, we'll click that and boom, everything becomes modern. Not a fan of this sort of thing, but you know, some people like it, and it's nice that it's been included. It's just a bit too techy for me. I prefer steam gauges. So anyway, with the Tour, so we've still got our gear indicator here, and our quick erect for the gyro compass, and all the old steam gauges for cabin pressure, oxygen flow, flaps, analog clock, electrical load, oil pressure, fuel, hydraulic pressure. Then we've got fuel flow, exhaust gas temperature here, and RPM in sort of semi-analog digital format. And then we have here that is known as the I think it's part of the G3 X Touch, which is this main thing here. Number 2 here, this is the PAC24 audio controller, and then we have some extra bits in the middle here. So we've got the GNS 430 for navigation, GTX 330 for transponder, and then we've got a GMC autopilot panel on underneath. I'll show you all again once it's fired up, but yeah, let's go back to classic. It's hurting my eyes. Actually no, quickly jump in the back seat and let you have a look at that. And like I said, as before, pretty much a carbon copy of the front. So you've got your PAC24, your G3X, your extra analog digital readouts for RPM, EGT and fuel flow. And then all you have in the back here, I believe that is the GTX 330 transponder, and then you've got your steam gauges again. Okay, so let's get this thing started. Right, so let's bring this beast to life. First thing I'm going to do, come over to battery, generator. Going to get the navs to bright, keep on steady because we can't switch them to flash. It's either off or steady. Transmit receive for the TACAN is on, even though it's not working. Okay, well, can't really sort those out. 177 6, and that's good. We'll have that on. Right, fuel shut off is open. Fuselage tank is in use. Okay. Right, next thing we want to do is open up the starter switch. No, I've forgotten anything. No. Okay, so we can grab the starter switch. Okay, once the RPM reaches the 9% threshold, we will fire up the ignition switch. On. Let's jump outside. Okay, not bad. Not bad. Okay, let's jump back in. So we'll listen to it from the inside. It's okay. Alright, what next? What do I need to do now? Main inverter. Can reset these. Fuel low still. Okay. So just going to quickly go to the tablet. Okay, and we'll have a look at the rockets that we can add. This is for the PC version only. And you can see we've got a couple of rockets on each wing. Very nicely done. And we can also change that to a bomb. Just come back over here, change it to bombs. And then we've got a couple of they're not Mark 82s, they're too small for that, I think. I'm not quite sure what those ones are. I can't zoom in close enough to find out. Oh well. Never mind. Let's clean up the aircraft, so get the dive brakes up, which is nice. We'll watch the flaps go up. There are 6 settings on that in total. Okay, we're clean. So I'm going to take the bombs off. Flare dispenser. Now I've not been able to find this. Ah, okay. So we've got a couple of them there, one either side. Okay. So it'll be interesting to see if I can actually fire flares. We'll try that when we're flying. Back in on the tablet. We can have aerobatic string. Puts a little bit of string on the front here, a bit like when you're in a glider. Tells you which way, pretty much where the wind's blowing and things like that, or which way you're going. Yeah, so you don't get sort of disorientated. And then we can also have a luggage pod. I'm going to take the aerobatic string off. Now the Luggage pod sits just aft of the undercarriage, between the flare dispensers, but we don't need that, so I'm going to get rid of that. So luggage pod, no. Okay, so if we go back to home, in the proximity of where we are, it will give us a load of radio frequencies to tune into if we want to. Again, we can get to classic and modern cockpit via the EFB as well. Also the map, so if you've got a flight plan, you can follow it via this, or if you just want a little bit of modern tech inside your classic cockpit, then you can certainly use that. So we're going to switch over to modern cockpit. As you can see, it's a little touch screen, so we've got EFI at the bottom, artificial horizon, and all our basically a repeater of some of the things over here. We've got exhaust gas temperature here at 583, that's reading the same over there. It's got N1, N2, oil pressure. What's the oil pressure reading at? 30, 32, yeah, that's about right as well. So yeah, we've got a little artificial horizon there. I don't know if there's a way of changing that, zeroing out the altimeter, unlike the classic sense. Okay, we'll get a tiny little repeater of what's on the EFB down here once that's loaded up. But other than that, I mean, yeah, you can use this. I mean, I suppose some people prefer that to a lot of other things. So let's see if we can get flight plan. There is no flight plan. No messages. Okay, let's clear that. Right, again, it's the same for the back seat, so if you want to have a look at that, we'll do that now. There you go. Again, like I say, same as up front. All the gauges are reading what they should be, although I don't know. Yeah, everything seems correct. Push to test, don't need to, it's already lit. That's our elevation trim. If I trim up, you see the light goes out. It lets us know that the elevator tab is out of position, and now trim down back into neutral. So let's jump back in the front, and then we can get out of here. Okay, so we're going to put it back to classic. I'm going to zero out the altimeter. We're going to head towards Coningsby. Why? Because it's a reliable source of navigation out there, and well, I like it. Close cover on that. Ignition can be turned off. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to park close the canopy. Sound has disappeared before the canopy came down, which is that could use a little bit of tweaking. Canopy not latched, well, duh. I'm just going to see if I can. We've got their fuel reserves low. I've got almost half a tank. How can my fuel reserves be low? Okay, we'll just boost that up to 60%. No, light's still on. Okay, so I'm just going to reset these again. Dum. 1, 2, 3. Sometimes that works. Right, okay. So we want 60% on flat for takeoff. So you can see where it's in transition at the moment. The light is on. Okay, and now we're at 60%. So let's cruise. I think I might still have the chocks on, just check. Chocks no. Excellent. Okay, so we're good to go. We can roll out. Parking brake off. Okay, so you have to use a mixture of differential braking and rudder to get this thing around where you want it to go. It is a bit sluggish, but it's an old aircraft, so I wouldn't expect anything less. So we're going to brake here. Make sure everything is where it should be, which it is. Everything looks good. Trim's good. Yeah, canopy's not latched yet, I know that. Fuel reserve's low. We've got over half a tank, so we are good with that. Okay, so I'm just going to close the canopy full and latch it on. Okay, so that's locked and we are truly ready to go. So I'm going to put the landing light on. I'm going to trim up ever so slightly because I don't know if this will nose down on takeoff or not. That's a horrible noise, whatever that was. Okay, oil pressure's good, fuel pressure is good, hydraulic pressure is good, temperatures are good, RPMs are good. Excellent. Let's roll. So I'm going to throttle up, take it nice and easy, hold engine. Brakes off. Thing will rotate at around about 120 knots. So we can get up now. Gear up. Start bringing the flaps up. You see flaps are in transition, so the lights up. Heading in a northerly direction. Foot back, trim out. Okay, so roll authority. It's not like you'd expect from modern aircraft, it's a little bit sluggish, but that's good. Which means it hasn't been hammed up to meet people's modern expectations. It's on a big classic. Okay, so we'll try an aileron roll. Very smooth, nice. Okay, jump outside and have a look. You see a little bit of a bug there with the landing light and taxi light still in the down position. Again, I'm hoping these little things will be revised by the time the release version is on sale. So let's try flares. So, okay, it's a flare dispenser. Do we have to switch anything on? Can we just push it? Yay, we've got flares, baby. That was short-lived, but we'll try it again. Nice. Like it. A lovely little touch. And we've also got smoke. I believe this just changes the colour of the engine smoke, so let's have a look at those. So over here we've got 4 little switches, so we can have white smoke, red smoke, orange smoke and blue. So we'll go for the white first. Beautiful. Nice little smoke effect there, really nice. Let's try a different colour. So we've got red next. Yeah, good stuff. Nice little feature. Keep it on north at the moment. Now take the red off, and blue smoke. Oh yeah, quite a nice dark colour. That's awesome, like it. I can see a few little display teams appearing with the release of this. And orange smoke. There we go. And what I'm going to do with this one, we're going to pull up into a loop. Hey! Install it. Okay, so that's turned into a yaw turn. Okay, we need to get the speed up again. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay, 200 knots, we're good here. On north again. So we're going to take off the red smoke. Okay, excellent. Like I say, it's a nice little touch. Okay, we're coming over low and fast over the wash. Starting to pick up Coningsby now, 23 nautical miles away. Every time we pick up a signal on here, we'll get an orange light. There we go. We get a steering cue, and we've also got a magnetic bearing to Coningsby. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a run and brake, put some smoke on, see if I can see that in a replay. Get that recorded, listen to the sounds, get it on the deck, do a summary. Clouds are picking up a bit more around this area, so let's drop some altitude. Doing speed wise. 370 knots. Okay. So our VNE is here. Velocity never exceeds speed. 500 knots there, just over by about 5. It's a constant trim aircraft as well, so I hope you've got a handy thumb, because it's going to take a lot of trimming up and down to get it right. Okay, we're just below the signal now. The CDI has been lost, but that'll be our steering cue for landing. Because we're 19 nautical miles away. Know the area quite well now, flown it a few times. So we're going to turn in shortly. Just over 400 feet. There's the wind farm. Might be Skegness there on the left. Bring the altitude up to about 1,000 feet. Around about that, if I can help it. Cloud base is getting low. Base is getting very low, blimey. Chase that CDI. Come on. Here we go. Start turning in. Nice and level. Okay, so should be heading bang on it now. I believe that's there on the nose, just to the left. Could be wrong, but we'll find out. Oh no, there it is over there. Okay. Speed up to 400 knots. Climb to 1,000 feet. Get the circuit height. 10 nautical miles away. So it's going to be a break to the right. No, it's to the left, coming in from this direction. What smoke colour shall we choose? Let's go for blue. Quick, slow it down a bit. Only want 400 knots. Smoke on, go. Bit quiet. Right, okay, so we want to get ourselves slowed down, parallel, keep our altitude down, speed is at 200 knots, we can drop the gear, ready to trim nose down. flaps down to 60. Initial. I've gone slightly over that, but that's not a problem. And light is on, trimming out. Keep speed constant if we can. Flaps all the way down. Trim out. Come in localizer. Bumpy. Okay. Start letting down the throttle. The right slope now. Down. Throttle back. Air brakes on. Brakes in, flaps fully up, and taxi to the parking. Then we'll get on to summary. A bit murky around here now. Okay, I'm going to park up just here. Okay, parking brakes on. I'm going to open canopy. Shut off the engine. Generator is, no, I'm not going to switch it off just yet. Turn off what we don't need. Okay, and this side we can turn off that. Shield off. Turn off the navs. Okay, pitot heat off. Generator off. Before we do that, we'll get the chocks on, ladder on. Now get pins in, why not? Okay, switch off the battery. There we go, we transitioned from Duxford to Coningsby. Quite a nice little flight. Live weather's getting a bit iffy now, a bit bumpy, lumpy, all that good stuff. But enjoyable flight nonetheless. So let's get on to the summary. Well, I wouldn't normally go straight to the website, but you know, where are you going to get the best information? So this is, like I say, the first of their Premier line. I don't know what is coming next, But yeah, T-33 jet trainer, also known as the Shooting Star. So it's been made in collaboration with Acemaker and SWS. Acemaker being a real life T-33 pilot. It says coming soon, but I believe it's being released tomorrow, the 30th of August. Don't quote me on that. We've got the prices here. So £23.99 in British pounds, £28.43 in euros, and £31.75 in US dollars. So zip up your G-suit, grab your helmet and strap into the T-33 jet trainer. Developed as a collaboration between Inibuilds and Simworks Studios, T-33 is a versatile turbojet training aircraft used by over 20 air forces globally. As a first Skunk Works project, which it was, I completely forgotten about that, it initially entered service in 1945 as a P-80 Shooting Star, so that's the single-seat variant, America's first jet fighter. And the two-seat variant debuted in 1948 as a TF-80C, then it was redesignated the T-33. It served in a variety of roles, from initial jet training platform to advanced IFF trainer to drone director. Target towing aggressors would be an interesting one in this, and even flew combat in the Korean conflict. This carefully designed aircraft brings a new level of realism and immersion to your virtual hangars, featuring highly detailed textures that render every rivet and panel with stunning accuracy. The in-depth realistic system simulations allow you to dive deep into the intricacies from avionics to engine management, experience true-to-life handling characteristics, and interact with a fully functional cockpit where every switch, dial and gauge is operable. Not strictly true, I've just proved that. Learn how to fly this magnificent machine with the assistance of our very own Cameron. Watch the Welcome To video for a deep dive into the history and nuances of the aircraft and learn how to accurately and safely fly the T-33 jet trainer. Well, rule number one, fly safely. So, key features. Detailed and realistic canopy covers to shield the aircraft from the elements, toggleable chocks and entry ladder to allow a realistic grounded config, engine plugs, pitot covers and other ancillary elements to enable a complete walk-around checklist, airshow like smoke effects and flares to allow for aircraft displays. Yeah, but is that I don't want to put a dampener on it, but I'm not sure how that, I mean, it's just that will only show for you. I'm guessing it won't show across multiplayer. High resolution UHD PBR liveries with historical modern options. PC only, realistic wing mounted drop bombs to allow combat training scenarios. You can drop bombs. I didn't know that. You can't click any of the munition switches, so how's that? Oh, I'm guessing it just shows that you can carry drop bombs. Me being a bit silly. So as you can see, they have got various amounts of really good screenshots from InSim. Them probably having the machines to do cinematics, things like that, so it looks fantastic. But don't get me wrong, I'm just what I would class as an everyman. I don't have an expensive PC. I wish I had, but majority of us will have your average run-of-the-mill sort of medium range to high-end PCs. So I'm in that category, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, because that means I'm in with you guys, but it would be nice to have a high-end so I could create cinematics and things like that. So there's a classic and modern cockpit options. So you've got ID 310 for distance indicator, ID 249 course indicator, ARN 21 TACAM panel, which doesn't have any numbers on it at the moment, ID 250 radio magnetic indicator. All of those, apart from the TACAM panel, are working nicely. And then with the modern one, you've got the G3 touch G3X touch single screen pilot flying display and navigation display, the GNS 430 navigation system, GTX 330 transponder, D10A electronic flight information system or EFIS, GMC 350 autopilot, and the PAC 24 audio selector panel. So, and it's fully endorsed by Gregory Wyatt Collier. Like I say, he is ace maker, real life T-33 pilot. If it's endorsed by a real T-33 pilot, you know it's got to be good, and I can vouch for that. It is very good. Classic Cold War rod pulley systems, steam gauges. $23.99. Yeah, that's an agreeable price. You're getting quite a decent aircraft for the money. And especially those with higher end PCs, you'll definitely get more for your money because you'll be able to show more of it. So, having said that, let's close this up. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there now because, well, I think I've said enough. But the yeah, T-33, I'd recommend. Be great for aggressors and any sort of display team. Nice steady speed and quite a solid flyer. So with that, I will leave it as is. If you've got this far, thank you very much, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.